T. Coyote.
Pre-release MacWorld plus Xbox is one of my favorite Halo mods of all time, brought to you by way of Alt Sierra 117. Recently, this mod has received a considerable amount of additional content, and the main focus of this mod is in the name. It's to restore cut content and concepts from early builds of Halo Combat Evolved, with some early Halo 2 weapon and vehicle sandbox sprinkled in. But what's captivating about this mod is not necessarily the cut content that's been added. Rather, the mod is designed for hours of fun replayability given the significantly altered gameplay. What I mean is the added content is not just cosmetic. The gameplay truly feels more hazardous and more unpredictable to a tasteful degree. As you've seen in this video so far, every time you start the Silent Cartographer, you will be given a random weapon set. This is really fun as it promotes the replayability for this specific scenario. And you can also admire all the small details of various weapons, such as the green tracer rounds for some UNSC weapons. Your Marine allies will also be given a random set of UNSC weapons, changing up the gameplay every single playthrough. Going a step further for various gameplay experiences, there are several different Warthogs that can be delivered to you. This one is the Rocket Warthog, and don't worry, it's not the horrible original Rocket Hog from the early Halo PC days. Just like the rocket launcher, the rockets from the Warthog track to targets, creating spectacular moments. Then an anti-armor Warthog was delivered in my next playthrough. This is from the E3 2000 trailer for Halo Combat Evolved. This delivers a more powerful rocket, with a few second cooldown timer after each shot. You can even see a unique rocket projectile model with a copper base. I don't believe I've seen this color scheme before on a rocket projectile in Halo. All in all, this anti-armor Warthog is a joy to drive around the island. Then we have an early version of the Warthog with a triple-barreled rotary machine gun. And me personally, I like the look of the additional lights on this earlier Warthog model. It's funny, the tires even appear blockier and lower in resolution.
Damn! No running! That's all they got! Damn straight!
Another neat addition that you need to look out for is exploding debris from destroyed vehicles. Using this ghost as an example, you can see here chunks of the ghost launch into the air, creating a similar grenade explosion effect once it hits the beach sand and water. And in this mod, there's a lot more vehicles to blow up. As you'll have a variety of experiences with modified UNSC vehicles, you've got to commandeer Banshees whenever possible. Not only are the new explosions a spectacle for aerial combat, but the Banshees are literally more by the book, or the manual I should say. Remember these things? They are a work of art. The mod author Alt Sierra 117 referenced page 23 of the Halo Combat Evolved manual. Bungie described the Banshee as having 2 weapon pods mounted on each side of the fuselage, in which both pods contain a plasma cannon and a fuel rod cannon. So by this description, we would expect 2 fuel rods to be fired from a Banshee instead of just 1. And it even states the secondary weapon are 2 fuel rod cannons. Interesting. Lucky for us, we can now fire 2 fuel rods at the same time in this wonderful mod. The Banshee's secondary feels much more capable, given that extra boost in splash damage. I appreciate these alterations to the weapon sandbox as much as I appreciate the increase in these detailed particle effects. The sparks, plasma trails, and smoke, they all create a frenetic visual while in combat, and all of these visual effects feel connected to a source within the game world. Going through this teleporter, you will come across a slugman. Be quick, and you can take the rifle. Now let's take a look at the Covenant Ghoul. What a neat addition this vehicle is. Think of it as a light assault tank. It appears to carry inspiration from Bungie's horseshoe crab-designed alien tank, before that became the Seraph Fighter. Yet of course, there are noticeable differences. The vehicle has 2 modes of fire, a semi-automatic plasma turret, or hold the trigger and release for a devastating plasma bolt shot. While the Ghoul is not as heavily armored as a Wraith, it can still take some punishment. Now for a few moments, let's take in the audio for this mod. Man, I enjoy that deep plasma explosion sound effect that plays from time and again. Now here's another cool moment. This elite wields an old energy shield that was shown in the E3 2000 gameplay trailer. We've seen this specific shield design resurrected throughout these recent years of Halo mods, although it feels right at home here in Halo Combat Evolved's visuals. When it comes to Halo, there has to be tanks. How about modified tanks? You may operate the anti-air Wraith, and what's neat about the weapon system is that the right trigger fires the right fuel rod cannons, and the left trigger fires the left ones. Of course, the anti-air Wraith struggles against ground forces, so I recommend taking the beautiful beast that is the homing rocket Scorpion tank. This Scorpion can fire 4 homing rockets at the same time, and is capable of rapidly steamrolling adversaries in its pathway. Look at how quick this is. Okay, let's dive into this Halo 2 SMG for a bit. The SMG in Halo 2 fills the role of the assault rifle from Halo Combat Evolved, although in this mod, we get to enjoy the pre-release SMG reload animation that was ultimately removed from the retail version of Halo 2. I dispense an entire magazine just so I can watch the Chief pull the charging handle back again. Moving forward, you are able to wield the energy sword in this mod. You can slice and stab opponents, although I do find it difficult to use, so targets just out of stabbing range, I just used my grenades.
Bastard hit me. You're crazy, kill him.
Get up, bro.
Contact! I'm making Covenant dropship moving towards our position.
Give the fuel rod cannon some use. Holding down the trigger and releasing will send a high velocity fuel rod towards your target. The effectiveness of the fuel rod cannon's projectile speed and accuracy measures up to the Spanker's homing capability in this mod. Now, moving further through the level assault on the control room, you are going to love the modified anti-air Scorpion tank. While it may take you a few moments to get used to the firing mechanics, you'll soon come to find that unloading a burst of high-caliber rounds that completely shreds Covenant Spirit turrets and vehicles is a satisfying, aggressive playstyle. Sure, you could hang back and fire at mostly airborne vehicles in this anti-air Scorpion tank, but taking advantage of the Scorpion's modified speed by quickly assaulting upon a turret emplacement and outmaneuvering ground and aerial forces is a frantic yet fun way to maintain the mod's cadence and to scheme the Covenant. The Covenant are coming after you with weapons modified in various ways. Therefore, speed is the key, even in a tank. Now, if you want to travel lighter, hop onto the Mongoose. This mod seemingly has everything cool about Halo. Driving the Mongoose here is like the mailman driving through a dog pound. Keep driving, don't stop for anything, and Hail Mary a package when the moment is right.
Over here! Let's throw!
Let's infiltrate Truth and Reconciliation a little quieter now. Your Marine allies will be equipped with the assault rifle. Wielding the assault rifle, you can see the flashlight is activated from underneath the barrel of the weapon, instead of using Chief's self-flashlight on his suit. For the scope's night vision, you can see it's a subtle, comfy red hue instead of green. Now let's take a listen to some weapons fully. In this unique visual edition of a passing Covenant patrol, Banshees and Spirit dropships have an energy shield. I like this addition, it makes sense. If specialized troop forces get energy shields, why not add energy shields to critical vehicles deployed in combat? On the flip side, when you're quickly depleting an energy shield on a vehicle, it's an indicator to you that you are dealing a lot of damage. So keep going. Now, in segments like these, man, I love the striking visuals added into this mod. From larger plasma tails coming from various Covenant weapons to the haunting spotlights of a Spirit dropship. The visual changes in this mod are evocative. During my playthrough, what stood out to me is the Spirit's light illuminating the desert trees like this. It all felt undertaking. The Spirit dropship was making its presence known on the battlefield. The Covenant felt as if they were not messing around. I know adding lights and shaders to vehicles is a subtle change, but it's important for the atmospheric tone that this mod sets. An important visual indicator in this mod are the added effects for grenades that you can equip. Spotting this plasma grenade here, you can see the energy effect. You'll soon see why that visual effect is important. But first, take a look at this, a spike grenade. While we were introduced to spike grenades in Halo 3, they were a concept in Halo 2 that was later cut. Now you will also find that some elites wield the Covenant Carbine. I believe this may have been added for the sake that there are multiple precision-based UNSC weapons, and the Covenant needs a weapon that can stack up to that and compete. After all, we want this mod to be fun and challenging, not just a walk-in-the-park wreckfest. Using the incendiary grenades, you will see that the fire spreads for several seconds, allowing you to continue to burn the shields of Covenant troops passing by as you pop shots at them. Keep in mind that the flames can activate a grenade. Speaking of which, the fragmentation grenades that you can pick up on the ground blink with green lights, as if to say, pick me. The spike grenade also has visual indicators so you don't miss it on the ground, and it can certainly stick to targets, even dispatch a weak foe on impact. The juicy flesh sound is also added in. But here is the important indicator you need to look out for. When you see sparks protruding from a grenade, stand back. However, you can use this to your advantage. If you see an inactive grenade on the ground, or even blamite cases, you can create a daisy chain of events. You can see how fights in hallways and corridors get very chaotic in this mod, but just keep your eyes open for those indicators. You can see the remaining spikes from the spike grenade are still bouncing around, and this just stabbed into a jackal's arm. That's some cool detail. Now let's take a look at how fast the projectiles are for the Needler. At one point in time, the Needler projectiles were extremely high in velocity, and it was going to forego the bright pink indicator as the needle sliced through the air. The Needler and spike grenades are fun and effective to use against the Flood. Overall, you can now see how this mod not only brings in assets that were created and then removed before the final release of Halo Combat Evolved and Halo 2, but this mod also offers more depth to the gameplay, and it gives a fresh experience for players already familiar with every segment of the original retail campaign. Go ahead and play this tonight by clicking on the download link in the description of this video. If you want to see more of these cool Halo mods, check out more videos on my channel.
KYOT Coyote.